Good evening, Honorable Boakye Aggyarko.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. The last time you came here was 2007.
I remember.
When you were running for president.
Yes.
I was very excited when I heard that it was Kofi Kumsin who told me that he's going to bring me to you and I would never have meet any other intelligent person, more intelligent than you.
Really?
Yeah, who came to see you at the
Junior's End.
Junior's End Hotel at the airport. And I was completely blown away. I mean, at that time you were still with the Bank of
New York. Yes.
And you told me how much you had supported the MPP in America and all of that, and Kofi Kumsin confirmed it. And then later on, Mustafa Hamid told me that he spends his weekends listening to you at the village. Yes. What is it called?
Krobo Dumas.
So he brought me there one day. I came with Alassane Tankuli.
Yes.
At the beginning of 2017.
I remember.
Yeah, and I remember the campaign and how you had used an analogy of two Krobo women. I never forget that. Nana Akufo-Addo was so impressed with that, I remember. I don't know whether it's 2012 campaign or 2016 campaign.
It was 2012.
2012 campaign, yeah. The campaign, when you were campaign manager.
Yes.
And again, I came to your office as campaign manager and you gave me some demographics. That's completely shocked me about how Greater Accra region is shaping up.
Yes.
And that has turned out to be true. And you told me then that if the MPP is not careful and don't look at these demographics, the time is going to come, we're going to lose Greater Accra region completely.
Same thing happening in Eastern region.
Eastern region is the same?
Now.
Or is that demographics you showed me on paper?
Yes.
I've never seen anybody who had independently done that kind of research of the voter movement of voters and the tribal connotations. And I mean, that's solid. That's amazing. I'm happy to know that you want to be party chairman. But let's start with things first. Where is the MPP today?
Where are we today?
Yes.
Well, we are in opposition, having been in government for 8 years. But as a party, we find ourselves in a lot of difficulties, facing a lot of challenges, not unsurmountable challenges, but challenges nevertheless. I think that there is a need for us to refocus, for leadership to refocus, and look back and ask ourselves, who are we? What are our values, our principles, and our beliefs? And are we departed from them and therefore have become something else? And if we have departed from our moorings, our core values, then we ought to introspect and see how we return to those values. Because it is those that made us attractive to begin with. So I think that we are between and betwixt, and it's time for us to re-examine ourselves. If we've metamorphosed into something that is ugly to our voters, we better whip ourselves back into shape and become adorable to the nation again. This is where we are, on a faltering step, but nothing is so broke that it can't be fixed. And I think we all have to refocus and bring our minds to what needs to be done with discipline, with courage, with clarity of thought. And then we can move forward.
The MPP experienced the heaviest defeat ever recorded in the history of the Fourth Republic in 2024. Before then, it had been the NDC who in 2016 had experienced the heaviest defeat recorded in 2024. Of course, if you take out 1992, it was the NDC was holding that record. The MPP broke that record with a significant defeat, and that has been the source of worry and the source of talk, because the MPP has lost elections before. This is not the first time it lost, but this defeat has brought up so many different conversations, accusations, and counter-accusations. When did you first get to know that the MPP had lost after the voting? Where were you?
I had gone to vote in Krobo. And as soon as I voted, I was driving, I on my way back to Accra. I looked at the voter turnout in Krobo. And I said, well, okay.
Krobo is an NDC place.
It's an NDC place.
Yes,
That's why I said, well, okay. But as I came up Apredi, Eastern region, from Somanya, Edukro,
Okay.
going along the ridge, all the way to Ebri.
Ekriapim. That's an NPP stronghold.
Yes, something struck me that something was amiss. On the way, I got a call from Mrs. Kujo, Council of State, solid MPP woman with Gladys Asma and Mrs. Addison. And you could hear her distress. What's up, Boakye? Abanu nkrofo won kwato wo. Today my year loose. Nam se mamenya abutar. Take heart. By the time I got to Accra, I knew that what I suspected had already come in. Because I, with a small team, went around, we did Biakunye, we did Adom-Otchere, a few constituencies.
That's central region.
Yes, Adom-Otchere, Enyani Siem.
Yeah, but at 247's constituency.
Yes, I went to campaign there for 3-4 days. I went to Biakunye and focused in one of the very difficult areas of Biakunye to see what can be done to lift up. I also went to Achumangwa North.
That's Ashanti.
That's Ashanti. And a few others too. But this is about 3 months to the elections. The feeling I got was not very good. But before then, I had been invited by President Kufuor to see or to get a feeling of what I was thinking, what I was seeing, and so on and so forth. We had a lengthy conversation. And my message to him was that it's not good.
You told President Kufuor that it's not looking good.
It's not good. I said that I'll be, that time, I said I'll be surprised if we got 100 seats. He almost fell out of his chair.
Oh, you thought we couldn't get 100?
No.
We had 147?
We had 137.
137, yes.
Yes.
And you believe that the MPP would not get 100?
On my own data analysis.
Oh, I see.
So I went through the whole country with him.
On paper?
On paper.
Showing him the seats that are difficult.
Discussion. We started from Upper West, Upper East, Northeast, Northern Region, Oti, throughout all the 16 regions. And I told him that, he was distraught. And I told him that there were about 30 to 35 constituencies that if we attacked those, as if they were by-elections, we could salvage some of them. He asked me for the 30, I gave him the list. And that was after which I then set out to see what some of my young friends who are in for the first or second time, to help them on the grounds. But by the time I got to Accra, I felt that my suspicion had already been confirmed. Because it was a difficult election.
Why was it so difficult?
It was a difficult election because there is a psychological trap that we've fallen into. 8-year cycle. And you see, when we are in opposition, we talk 8 years.
Yes.
When NDC is in opposition, they talk 8 years.
Yeah.
I remember a very fantastic ad orchestrated by Obushisai Kofi.
I was going to say Obushisai.
Yes.
Mokwaya
ni Mokwaba.
Yeah, that's the Kufuor one.
Yes, Mokwaya ni Mokwaba.
That's all. Mokwaya ni Mokwaba, that's all.
That's all.
But that was not 8 years. So it was
no,
for 22 years. Rawlins's long.
What I'm saying is that through subliminal messaging and advertisement, we have trapped ourselves over this period into this Mokwaya ni Mokwaba cycle. Right? So that was one. The government also at the beginning put upon itself a heavy transformational agenda to implement within a very short time. That kind of transformational agendas don't happen on short leashes and short cycles. People talk about Singapore. People talk about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. People even talk about Cardoso in Brazil. These were not short leash 4-8 year cycles that lead to transformation.
12, 16.
12, 16. I've just finished reading a book on Xi Jinping. China. A leap from poverty, that's the title. A leap from poverty into prosperity. And you can see that it is a 30-year transformation, or even more. I remember when I went to China 2-3 years ago, I was taken to Shenzhen and placed on the site where Deng Xiaoping said that Shenzhen was going to be better than Hong Kong because it's across the strait, and made certain predictions about the evolution of China. He was talking of a 30-40 year plan. So Akufo-Addo's government had placed upon itself a heavy duty of national transformation. Somewhere along the line, it was going to be difficult. Somewhere along the line, the resources to accomplish it was going to be scarce. So by the time we were hit with COVID, all bets, in my mind, even though I wasn't in government, all bets were off. And I could see that that transformational agenda, as good and as cherished as it was, couldn't happen. But Ghanaians will hold us responsible for that. Also, I think that conduct.
Public conduct?
No. Party officials and appointee conduct. I remember speaking to party people at the regional conference in Chebi. And what I told the party people really was that our conduct and our speech is going to determine whether Ghanaians will feel that we are the safest pair of hands.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes. Right? We are a people with a short fuse, but not expressed. Nigerians are a people with a short fuse, but expressed. Nigerians will jump up in the street, jump in your face immediately. Ghanaians will blow their fuse and be smiling in your face. Right? Some of the conducts that came forth were not very good. And post-elections, I think that the three key things I learned post-elections were, one, that we in the MPP, anytime you hear of us, we are fighting over money.
At that time?
At that time.
Yeah.
Or, if you hear of us, we are fighting over posts. And three, anytime we as MPP open our mouths, we are speaking in unprintable, offensive language that the Ghanaian ear shouldn't hear, right? And they cautioned us that all these three things we don't want. But we did not pull the brakes and say that, okay, they don't want to hear us talk in a certain way. Who is going to be the gatekeeper to say that you shut up, don't go on radio? I remember years ago, somebody sitting in a studio and talking their head off, and Adom-Otchere walking into the studio and yanking the person out.
Oh, I see. As General Secretary of the party?
I think he was General Secretary then. Radio had just started.
Yeah.
And I applauded him for it. You are sitting in this studio and you are talking like this. This is not us. He told the host, Pamifria. So there are a lot of gaps, control gaps without proper gatekeepers, without a clear definition of who is officially talking for this party. Anybody can say, me a foot soldier, me a spokesperson, I speak for the MPP, and go on radio and talk certain things that bind us. But there must be a certain clarification as to who can speak to bind the NPP and who is just talking because they have an opportunity to talk. All of those things, we lost the real guards. And by all means, when the real guards fell off, the power was bound to fall off the truck.
So you seem to be pointing to a weak party leadership between 2022 and 2024.
Definitely. But you see, nothing happens suddenly like that. In sociologists will tell you of the slow motions of decay. That in human lives, unless it's a catastrophe, the seeds of decay or destruction are sown and grow over time. I've gone back to read a lot of my letters with Darocha dating from 1991. I keep all those.
You used to write to him?
Oh, we used to write to ourselves almost every month.
Okay.
He, Ejenim Boateng, Dr. Kwam Safodu. I used to be with J.H. Mensah most of the time. And I have all their letters and other correspondence and their notes and their books and all of that, including my own father's. Reading his 1993 letters particularly, you could see the gems of what we are experiencing now.
I see.
Yes.
As a predictive document?
As a precursor. Because he was cautioning us and the party about certain things all the time. Darocha. Because they were minute then, we thought Darocha was exaggerating or overblowing things. But they've germinated, they've grown, and now here we are. I remember in his 1995, 28th August address, he says, look, people are running around calling themselves leading members. Who made them leading members?
Oh, yeah, there's the media who did it.
Yeah, well, the party is saying that there are no leading members. And he says that all these committees and sub-organizations that have sprung up, anyone who wants to issue a statement must first clear it with the General Secretary.
Yeah.
If you don't, he will have an issue with you. I mean, now, every overnight, mushroom organizations, mushroom coalitions spring up and says things as if this is party position. It's gotten out of hand. And we must begin to curb and pull all of these things. Going into the last election, we had about 30,000 different clubs and
30,000.
Yeah, 30.
30,000.
Yes.
I don't believe that.
All over the
All
country.
representing the MPP.
All over the country. Two people get together, they name themselves as something, and then they are talking. Dankwa ladies in Tamale. Dankwa ladies in Tamale split into about 5 different organizations.
Well, we had professionals for change and things like that.
Yeah, all of those. Right? Staunch ladies, staunch queens, beauty queens, this, that. And you're asking yourself, are they in possession of the message, the pristine message that they should take out there? Otherwise, communication becomes jumbled. One says this today, another says this tomorrow, and so on. All of that will jumble your message. The cacophony doesn't get into the head of the voter. And therefore, your message is lost. All of those things contributed. I think that there is certainly the need for tough leadership, not just at the national, but from the polling stations, electoral areas, particularly constituency leadership, region and national. Along the whole chain of leadership, must re-examine ourselves and whip ourselves back into shape and say that if I'm leading in this polling station, these are the things that are expected of me. It is unfortunate that a big organization such as MPP, we do not have work programs for various departments and levels. We do not have KPIs to measure performance. You're a polling station chairman. 5 people under you. In your polling station, there are 500 or 400 voters. Your KPIs. How many of these people have you talked to? Yes, no. Where are they leaning? Where are they? Feed that information to your electoral area coordinator or your constituency. Then your performance can be measured. Otherwise, how is it that across the whole country, there are a lot of polling stations, we got 0?
Yes. Nobody understands that. Well, some of it, they said there was threats of insecurity.
That could be true. That could be true.
Especially in the Boakye area.
Well, I when I was campaign manager, we had experiences like that in certain parts of Volta. And therefore, for the safety of people, we just simply said, pull out. But are people taking their assignments seriously at that level? Is there any active supervision to see that? I mean, how come that we get 0 in a polling station, and the next time they are selecting polling station officers, the same 5 have an opportunity to be repeated?
So if it was a security threat, maybe.
Well, you can analyze all of that. You can analyze all of that. But at the end of the day, there are certain work programs and KPIs that ought to guide us in the decisions we make.
Okay. Honorable Boakye Aggyarko, the big question people want me to ask you is that you have properly diagnosed the problem. Is it a winnable party in the next election, which is 3 years away, the NPP?
Yes, indeed. You know, Winston Churchill had a saying, says, 1 week in politics is a long time. Sometimes in life, events get into the saddle and ride mankind. My answer to you is yes, we can, and yes, we must. See, electoral outcomes are not etched in stone or cast by oracles. That's not how elections are. It requires a lot of work. You know, it is only in the dictionary that success comes before work.
And because it's alphabetical.
Yes. Okay. It's only in the dictionary that success comes before work. the rest of life, work comes before success. So we have to bear down, grind down, and understand that there's a huge task ahead of us. And for posterity's sake and for our own party's sake, we must grind down and do that work. And I believe that if we do the work, if we show ourselves as chastened, if we improve our communications, if we realign the way we do things, proper structural changes, proper procedural changes, proper campaigning organization, all of these things can happen within 1 year if we feel up to it. The question is the MPP ready to step up and play? And I believe that in the short 9 months, our mindset is moving to the position where we are saying, yes, we can, and yes, we must.
Is it not that people are looking at the NDC administration and moving away from an intimidated party in January and now feeling boisterous about the fact that, oh, if this is all what they had to offer, we can really win the next election? Is that not where the feeling is coming from more than anything else?
Well, you will always have that kind of feeling. Euphoric because someone may be failing. But someone's failure does not automatically guarantee your success. And we learn that from the art of war. Sun Tzu, he says, no. The failure of your enemy or your opponent must not be the basis of your strategy. You don't count on your opponent failing as your strategy.
But is it not still better for the NPP that the NDC would have to migrate from President Mahama to a new candidate? And it creates an opportunity for a sort of rancor in politics, and that certainly will bode well for the NPP or for any opponent of the NDC for that matter.
I don't want to take these things as given or automatic. Look, people can fall into rancor, disorganization, and with good leadership whip themselves back in line. Right?
As a ruling party.
Even as a ruling party. As any organization. Look, go into military history. How certain troops have been totally disorganized, but with good leadership, they rally around and face the enemy again. That is the credit or the fame of General Patton, the Battle of the Bulge, right? So let us not count on the fact that NDC may be in rancor, and therefore that is our advantage. No. What is the work that we have to do as a party to strengthen us, to position us as the party of choice amongst Ghanaians, to make us appealing? If they fall in rancor, is bonus, right? But we have our work cut out for us, and we must insist on doing that work. If NDC falls apart, that's their problem, but treat that as a bonus. Because if they don't, then where do you stand? It's not a strategy.
In 1999, 2000, the NDC had a parliamentary leadership over the MPP of about 70 odd seats.
Yeah, we were at 61. GEG
60 or 61?
61.
61, and they were at 133.
130 there.
Yeah, 30 or 34, yes. And then there was 7. It was us plus 7 and then them for a 200-member parliament. Yes. So that was significant. Then and it was overturned by the election time. NPP were leading by 2, actually, single 2 in 2000. Before the second round, NPP had single 2. And then in 2008, NPP had a leadership of about 40, and it was overturned in the election. And then in 2016, the NDC had a leadership of about 50. It was over 10.
10, yes.
Yeah. This one is a leadership of 100 and more.
Yes.
101. Is it plausible for NPP to come round in 4 years to become the majority party in parliament?
I wouldn't frighten myself with these numbers. They look daunting, right? But you must have a stomach for the fight. Otherwise, you can never win. You must have the stomach, the plan, and the courage to say that this is what I want to achieve. Overturning some of these losses, I don't think they are beyond our reach. I don't want to see or accept them as beyond our reach. What I crave for, or what I want this party to focus on is, yes, this is where we are. This is what we are going to do. And we must do it. Look, I happen to read a lot of military history. One of the very important things that I learned from Napoleon's chief of staff, General Jomini, he said that anybody, any general, who is in a battle and starts with, I wish I were in this position, has already lost.
Is it psychological?
No, you accept where you are. This is where I am. This is how I'm going to fight. And this is where I need to get to. But if you start wishful thinking that you wish you were someplace else, you won't be there. You won't have the men. You won't have the ammunition. You won't have all the tactical support on a wish. But if you accept that I'm in this hole, I'm going to dig out, you resolve, then you can win. Go to the Battle of Alamein, where the British forces under Montgomery pushed Rommel all the way out of the Middle East or North Africa. When he came, he says, this is the line in the sand. There is not going to be any retreat. Hitherto, the Allied army was always looking for the next place to run to.
So you are optimistic?
Highly optimistic. We have to get our minds and our thinking together and not be daunted by the number, but rather focus on the task ahead and say that it's doable. We are not saying we are magicians, but it can be done because we have the will, the wherewithal, the strategy to go ahead and do it.
Talk of magicians, I'll be asking you later at the end of the interview whether you believe in spirituality and all of these things, malams and pastors and all of that. That's coming up later. But everybody will not forgive me, the MPP big man, if I don't ask you this question. With all the things that you have put across, the Honorable Boakye Aggyarko, does it matter who wins on January 31? That's a question everyone wants me to ask.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Because the primacy of our elections, right, is the strength of the party. Look, if you go through all the surveys, I used to be involved with Trojan, that was done by Research International for Akufo-Addo's bid. Trojan 1, 2, 3, and 4. It clearly shows you that people's affinity is for their party. First.
In Ghana?
In Ghana.
Not candidate?
No.
Really? Oh, you may be right. That's why independent candidates don't
do well.
No matter how much they seem to be making sense.
If John Mahama had gone independent, he would have lost.
You mean if John Mahama went independent, he won't get 10%?
No.
The NDC candidates will still pick up the votes.
The numbers that I have seen, when you stress test affinity and loyalties, MPP has about 42 to 45% affinity
In Ghana.
in Ghana. NDC has about the same number. That is how come floating voters become important, right? But floating voters cannot back a candidate who is independent for him or her to win.
Like Cheddar.
Because you see, apart from affinity, there is the ecosystem of organizational support by the parties. My thinking is simply this, that if you have a strong party that is not bickering, that is focused on an agenda, it doesn't really matter much who the candidate is. Your party, if they are fired up, your base, if they are fired up, will get you the win. Why I say yes and no is that you may have a candidate who may carry too much of a baggage. And therefore, you will see that a 1 or 2% detraction may cause you a loss or may cause you a headache. I'm not saying that the candidate is not important at all, but the primacy of winning an election is how well tuned and fired up your bases and how structurally sound your party organization is. Once you do that,
yeah,
it becomes a platform upon which any candidate can stand with comfort. Reverse it, strong candidate, weak party, you will lose.
You will lose.
Yes.
I just like to explore the point about the candidates a little bit. These days, the way politics is run, you can have a candidate upon whom negative and untrue propaganda can be heaped. People might believe it.
Yes.
And it can occasion that candidate's difficulty. I think it happened, I don't have any data to back it, but I think it happened in 2008. That there had been a lot of negative propaganda against Akufo-Addo.
Yes.
There was the cocaine, this,
Yes,
that,
yes,
all
yes.
of which was untrue. But if you look at the results, it may have accounted for the 1 or 2% that you talk about. But it was through no fault of his. It was a massive propaganda machine well oiled by the NDC to make it like that. If you look at 2016's elections, you may find something similar. The NPP managed to have a well-oiled machinery campaign against John Mahama as being incompetent. Whether it was true or not, the Ghanaian people accepted it. And it may have occasioned the very heavy defeat that John Mahama suffered in 2016.
I agree.
On this 2022, there was a lot of heaped on Dr. Boakye about inheriting a family agenda and a japadia and all of those things that may not have been true, but was heaped on him. So it gave the candidate's personality a very difficult sort of thing.
But those things are part of the political terrain.
And that can happen to any candidate.
That can happen to any candidate.
So when you say you can have a candidate who may have some difficulties,
yes,
in these days, they will heap difficulties on every candidate.
yes, some may work, some may not. What didn't they heap on Jerry Rawlings? What effect did it have on him?
In the elections that he won?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. In
Because
96,
you
there was a lot.
because you see, through his military period, he had inoculated himself against a lot of the things that were going to be said against him. We are Tiabre. So it was nothing new, not news. In politics, you must accept that propaganda is part of your political terrain. And in fact, that's why you set up in your research organization something called opposition research. Opposition. When you came to my house, I showed you the document. Maybe you have forgotten.
In the village?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm remembering a little bit. Yeah.
Opposition research basically looks at what are the weaknesses of your opponent and how can we hit him where it hurts the most. Because it's not a religion, it is not always based on truth.
The campaign.
No, the opposition research.
Yeah, okay.
It's not always based on truth. Look, if you remember 2008, NDC said the leadership of MPP had these accounts in...
Yes. In bank accounts foreign countries.
Prudential.
Prudential, yeah.
You put all the account totals together. They were 3-4 times bigger than the bank's total balance sheet. Now, how is that possible? Because the assets, deposits, must form part of the reconciliation of the balance sheet.
So you mean that's easy to counter?
No, but you see, because it's a technical area where most people can't understand, right? It works against you. Opposition research will always tell you that don't put propaganda out that can easily be explained. That is why Goebbels and Hitler said, the bigger the lie, the better. Right? So you as a politician must always understand that propaganda is part of your political terrain, and you must be ready
to navigate it.
To navigate it either by inoculating yourself against it or immediate response. Bill Clinton, you say something today, within 1 hour they are responding.
They don't allow it to fester.
They don't allow it to even gain any traction. So yes, every candidate can suffer it.
Barack Obama was like that too.
Yes. Yeah. Look, there's a Jewish saying that if you are accused that your sister is a prostitute, it doesn't matter that you don't even have a sister. Your sister is still a prostitute.
That's interesting.
Yes. I don't have a sister. But you say my sister is a prostitute. Yeah, we know you don't have a sister, but your sister is a prostitute. Yeah, they are tools.
It's part of it.
It's part of it. It's not a good part of it because it doesn't help citizens. This is a devious way to power. Because I believe that the essence of power must have a higher moral end to serve the needs of citizens. But if you go through a certain Machiavellian channel to gain that power, you will sooner than later realize that that power is getting you. That's
interesting, but people want power. That's the fundamental thing. So if you are party chairman, I'm coming to why it should be Boakye Aggyarko now. If you are party chairman and it's 1 month to election, and Abronye, forgive me for mentioning his name, Usu Bempa, who else can I mention? Lord Comey, come to you, party chairman, that actually we have a plan. We are going to run Asidu Ketia down in a certain way. They ask, what are they going to do? Say, oh, we are going to say that his grandmother did so and so. And you said, oh, but I know Asidu Ketia, his grandmother died when he was a child. Say, oh, but chairman, it doesn't matter. This one will work. You will see. We will start from Asempa. From Asempa, we'll do Omai. Then we'll do Joy. It will work, chairman. Are you going to say no? Because you are looking for the better moral sort of thing.
It's the ideal. In order to get to that moral end, you must have power. But you see, you always have to temper that desire with character. So, like all the propaganda books will tell you, if you come to me and say that we are going to say Adom-Otchere's mother this, that, and then, the first question I will ask you, can it be easily debunked?
Okay.
Right? Are there sufficient witnesses, right,
to debunk it?
To debunk
credible
witnesses. If there are, shut it down.
If they are not, go ahead.
If they are not, because it's part of the political terrain, you have to manage it, right? I'm not going to play saint and tie both hands behind me when something, they are also doing it against me. But what I will always advise is, you are going to launch into propaganda. Can it be debunked? If it can't be debunked, don't do it. The second thing I will be interested in is the damage it may do to somebody else's character. Mm-hmm. See, reputations and character are very cultivated. You don't tamper with. Now, if this propaganda is going to damage a Siedun Ketia's character beyond repair, I won't allow it.
Even
because that is not the only way to win an election.
Okay. You can still win another way.
Yes, you can still win another way.
Okay, let me ask you now. You are a former minister. You've never been a party leader. You've been campaign manager before. You want to be the chairman of the New Patriotic Party. John Boydo is former general secretary. He also wants to be chairman of the party. He's been at national leadership before. Mm-hmm. Nana Komia has been member of parliament many times. He's entered the race now. He wants to be. Who else is in the race now? Can you remind me? MPP race. There's John Boydo and there is Nana Komia just coming.
Wontumi wants to contest.
Yes. Chairman Wontumi has been regional chairman. He also wants to lead the party. Many people were very excited that you have taken this interest at all, that you want to run for the chairmanship of the party. Some people also say that Boakye Aggyarko is very difficult. He's one plug. You're not going to be able to work with him. His discipline things, he takes it beyond the roof. Everything, discipline, too much. Whatever that means. Why should it be Boakye at this time for the MPP?
Well, first let me take on the question is, most of the people who will tell you he's one plug, you can't work with him, they've never worked with me.
Oh, I see.
Right?
But you have been campaign chairman. A lot of people work with you.
I've been campaign chairman. But the minute you give up discipline, you've given up success. In life, the minute you give up discipline, you have sacrificed success. When I was campaign manager, I encountered a lot of these things. Someone will come to the office, oh, minister, you be here 10,000 cedis. And I said, what's the plan?
You want to know what it is for?
Yeah, what are you going to? It's not my money.
It's for the boys.
No, if you say it's for the boys, say so. But you come and just demand 10,000 cedis without explanation, and then I take 10,000 cedis and give it to you, and you walk away. So that when at the end of the day I have to account to the finance committee how those monies are. Oh, somebody came and said 10,000. I've given it to you. I had a process where petty cash. As a banker, I said, look, if you need less than 1,000 cedis, just sign a petty cash. No explanation. That it is on record that I gave Paul Adom-Otchere 1,000 for whatever. Master, you think this is bank money? I'll sit you down patiently and say, okay, you go and bring your own money into the pool and sit and watch me give it out the way you are talking about. And I saw him say, but you want me to abuse somebody else's money. In banking,
but in campaign, there has to be abuse of money.
It's campaign. Darocha used to say that.
Darocha didn't win any election.
No, Darocha used to say that when you send somebody with 100 cedis to go and do something, thank your stars that 40 cedis got the work done. No, 60 cedis got the work done. Because the 40 cedis are handling charges.
The handling charges, yeah.
Right. I am not against that.
Okay.
But I'm always in favor of proper planning. Look, when people donate monies to campaigns, I call it sweat equity. They want your party to use that money to do something that will put the party in power and serve our collective good.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, if I treat it as silly money, I'm insulting them. They could have used that money for silly money themselves.
Okay, that's
let us get the work done, right? Discipline ourselves. Let us say that I've given you an assignment, you've gone and done it, right? But if you don't do it, if I give you a critical assignment, you don't do it, and I'm supposed to smile at you and say, oh, enyeshi. You don't run any organization like that.
So clearly you're a man of discipline. Why should it be you, Boakye Aggyarko, now for the MPP?
For the large part, I will ask my assessors to make that assessment. The overwhelming support that I have received,
it's been overwhelming in 48 hours. Massive.
Suggests to me that our party people see certain things in me, in character, in efficiency, and performance. Look, running a Akufo-Addo's campaign was not a walk in the park. I started with Akufo-Addo in terms of management around 2010, ending in 2016.
Oh, 16, that is long.
Yeah, it was a lot of 2016, the second campaign, I was in charge of policy.
Who was in charge of this 2016 campaign? Can't remember. Was it Peter McMahon?
Peter McMahon,
okay.
Seconded by Lord Comey and Lord Comey and Mustafa Hamid.
Mustafa Hamid, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you were on the policy side.
Yes, I was on the policy side. Now, that is a lot of work. I worked with a lot of people. So how does somebody say, "Untimini nipa nyeju"?
Okay, I get that. Does Akufo-Addo approve this, your ambition? Do you know?
Well, I've spoken to him. Hitherto, he had asked me to follow that path.
Okay.
Hitherto, he had asked me to follow that path. Minds didn't meet. Hitherto, President Kufuor had asked me to follow that path.
Chair the party.
Minds didn't meet because I had my own issues, my own baggage, and settling matters with family and so on. You know, until you've dotted all the I's and crossed the T's, don't get into high-level politics.
I see. That's why in your statements you made the point that you have spoken to family people.
Yes, you have.
Now you have the.
From my experience, from my observations, if there's no peace or full backing of your family, you won't be a successful. You have difficult times.
That's correct. Please let me announce to viewers, I'll be finishing the interview in 5 minutes. But those who want me to ask Boakye about why he left the energy ministry, what happened, it's not part of the interview. I'm really sorry about that. We're not talking about that. But if he wins the chairmanship and comes back, maybe we can deal with that. Today is more critical things. Do you believe in spirituality towards elections? Do you want to go and see a pastor to be prayed for? Do you want a malam to come in and look at the candidates and all of that? Do you want to do some numerology on the dates chosen for the election and all of those things? The color the candidate should wear to go and vote, the photograph that goes on the ballots, do you want it to submit it to a pastor in some place, Dumfanyame or something like that, so they pray on the photograph? Are you minded to do these things as chairman of party?
No.
No?
That's the belief of a lot of people. That is not my belief. I believe in one God whose word is true.
Yes, correct.
We are all spiritual. Our beings, we are spiritual, right? So, for instance, when somebody dies, why do we say "oko"? Why neko? The body is here.
So the soul is gone, yeah.
Yes, there is something else.
Yes, but if you believe in God, you can have your Catholic priest have a look at it, the photo.
In all your endeavors, right? Make sure that you place yourself before God, right? Placing yourself before God could be through your pastor or whatever your belief system dictates. But I don't think that they determine outcomes. That outcome is in God's hands.
Yes, but you want the pastor to pray over the photograph that's going on the ballot.
So if the photograph is not there and the pastor prays, God will not hear.
No, you take the photograph to the pastor so he anoints it.
What I'm saying is, when Christ told the centurion, Go, your daughter has been made well.
Okay, so you are faith unlimited.
Yes, look.
You are not direction. Let's go and walk on the sea for 30 steps around the party office. Let's go and run the Independence Square.
All of those things, if it's God's way, God's will. Why did God tell Neymar to go and swim in the Jordan?
Yes, that's also there.
All right, that's also there. God's directions are his directions. My experience teaches me or makes me weary. Look, from 2006 and all through my campaign years, I've had pastors, malams come to the office with all kinds of predictions, none of which have worked. Sometimes one pastor comes and says this, the next day another pastor comes and says, the direct opposite. Yeah. And it is not possible for God to tell one pastor this and tell another pastor something diametrically opposed. The only time I know of this is when God put that spirit of lying in 400 prophets. Yeah. Because he wanted to get Ahab and Jehoshaphat. Right? He had to get prophets to lie to them so that they will fall into his trap. Apart from that, God's word is certain. It is always true. And he will not tell one pastor this and the other pastor something opposite. I've seen it many times. Many times more than I care to count. So for me, it is always me going on my knees before the Almighty God and praying for his guidance, for his intervention.
Okay. I have to be ending now. People want me to ask you, how is your brother's family? Your brother who died, Aggyarko?
Well, they are holding up. The kids they are now in 6th form.
Oh, good.
Yes,
I've been meeting you then. People like the way you have taken it upon yourself to.
Look,
that was a really sad event. Really sorry to remind you of it.
I haven't recovered.
I can imagine.
Because of who he was. I mean, he was my only uterine brother.
I see. He was younger?
He was directly after me.
Okay.
And the way we bonded and gelled, people called us Ataniata. You know. And I say to myself that if anything had happened to me, what Kwabena would have done in my absence, you clap for him.
Wow.
So it's nothing. These are kids who have lost
four of them, right?
Five,
okay.
Who have lost their father in the most bizarre and tragic way. I must corral all of them. I can never replace their father, but I can give them a sense of hope that it is not lost, and give them the opportunity so that they will rise above their circumstances and become better than myself and his father. That is the responsibility I have.
Fantastic. We wish you well in that. Do you have text messages? Can I take text messages? Yes. Let's take one or two each, and then Boakye will give us a final word, maybe a prayer, and then we leave it there. Okay.
All right. So from Jacoby, he says, character, efficiency, and performance. A winnable trait which distinguishes Honorable Boakye to lead the NPP in this period and time. A personality we so need to champion the affairs of the NPP to victory, with Honorable Brian Lechampo as flag bearer. Good evening, Paul. This is from Jacoby. Ishmael says, Honorable Boakye is the best to lead and is the next to lead as national chairman. God bless him for responding to our call to help salvage the party. Our founding fathers are very happy with him. And lastly, from Salga, this is a different opinion. He says, discipline is not the best way to go with the indisciplined opposition like the NDC. Please, we need rough leaders to match the indisciplined energy of the NDC. I don't know about that. What you have for us, Kofi?
So Bennett Danso says, Paul, please extend my regards to Honorable Aggyarko Boakye Chairman. Tell him I said he is fit for purpose and I fully endorse his chairmanship bid. And from Nana Yao Shadmos, he says, wow, so happy to see Honorable Aggyarko. He is our Honorable Chairman, and Nana Komia as General Secretary will be a perfect opportunity to win back power in 2028. And lastly, Commentator the Atawi says, our party has a golden opportunity to calm the troubled waters and harness our collective resolve to be the party of the people. Honorable Boakye is deep in thought, experimental in leadership, skillful in tact, and will be a strategic choice for the party. This man has the ethos and reflects our tenets. As a party and we as MPP have this one chance to get it right. I am for Honorable Boakye. And that is it for the comments.
All right. Boakye Aggyarko, give us a final word. What would you say?
Well, there are too many things to say, so I'll rather end it with a prayer. But I'll take the prayer from the Quran.
Okay.
When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was confronted with many difficulties and challenges, he went crying to Allah in despair. And Allah told him something that is captured in the Al-Quran. And this is what I would want to share with our viewers, that however bad it may look, it's not that bad. And the recitation is fa inna ma al yusri usra, inna ma al yusri usra.
That's Arabic?
Yes.
You speak it?
From the Quran, yes.
Okay.
Not ordinary.
Okay, go ahead.
Fa inna ma al yusri usra, inna ma al yusri usra. He's saying, what haven't I taken you out of in life? Remember that after every adversity there is ease. Yes, after every adversity there is ease. Fa inna ma al yusri usra, inna ma al yusri usra. That's how I want to end.
Wow. Fa inna ma al yusri usra.
Yusru.
Fa inna ma al yusri usra. Fa inna ma al yusri usra. Please vote for Boakye Aggyarko. Good night.